Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As I said in my last video, from now on I'll be working on a series of characters and I thought to custom few kwamis. For those who don't watch Miraculous Ladybug, you might not know what I'm talking about. But these kwamis are magical and tiny creatures that can levitate, pass through solid objects and grant powers to their owners. So, to commemorate the end of the season 2, I decided to start this squad with Duusu, the peacock kwami, even if there weren't any cameos with her. I kept wondering if I would custom her as a female or a male, but after researching a bit the Wikipedia, I found out that she's depicted as being sentimental and she also refers at herself as a she. Thus, it was a perfect combination for my Kiyomi doll. First things first, I cut her hair as short as possible, then placed her in warm water to properly remove the head. After that, I removed the remaining inside and the factory paint with acetone. While her head was sprayed with MSC, I focused on her body to blush it with pastels. For the elbows and knees I used pink, while the other parts were blushed with a shade of dark blue. It was a nice combination to see how that pink stands out, usually because most people use a darker shade than the body color. Sometimes you just have to play with colors in order to see what you like the most and what fits your actual style. I made her hair out of blue and fuchsia yarn. The fuchsia part will be placed in front while the blue yarn takes the rest of her head. You might wonder why. I wanted to complement that fuchsia spot that Duusu has on her forehead, like the Indians. My other reason was to illustrate that she is a damaged kwami. This fact was explained in the last episode of season 2, even though, as I said in the beginning, there was no cameo with this kwami, so I can't imagine how damaged she is. But whatsoever, I made few visible damages, to say like so. However, I'll make her a French braid in the very end. And here comes the most tedious part of the whole project, the tail with its feathers. First, I created a wire armature in order to set the feathers in place. Then I used white glue for crafts to hold them in a conical shape and wait until the glue dried. Usually it takes around few hours, but since that it was already evening, I continued it in the following day. However, I used also super glue to strengthen the feathers together on the wire and to be sure that they will hold in place. In the very end, I cut out the excess because the wire armature got a little bit too further from the body, so it has to be as close as possible in order to look good. I was so glad that I could find these sealant feathers, even though I found them when I expected less. I found also this beautiful lace. If you watched my other videos, you know very well that I like lace very much, and I used it on 3 dolls so far: Fauna the deer girl, moon girl, and Akane the kitsune. So, coming back, it took me a while until I figured out how I wanted this lace to fall upon the feathers, because most of them had to be covered in order to resemble Duusu's tail, but they still have to be seen and not like 1 centimeter. And after that, I found also at the same store these fuchsia gemstones, and I was so in love with them, I couldn't resist not to buy them. I glued 5 of them on the lace. What can I say, I wanted something simple but elegant. After that, I made a small belt of fuchsia hearts on top of her lace. Duusu's name comes from a Slovakian word, if I'm right, which means soul. And usually hearts are pretty much related to the soul, because it is said that the human soul lies in the heart, and you get what I mean. And also because she's described as being sentimental and emotional, you can symbolize this fact through a heart. The face-up is usually people's most favorite thing to watch. Kiyomi, regarding other dolls that I customized so far, is different. She already had molded eyelashes, so basically I couldn't change that much but to stick to her face, to her shape. I started first by sketching on her cheek a green peacock feather. For some reasons I had that in my initial concept and I didn't want to give up on it. I wanted to make Duusu different from all the kwamis I'm going to custom, because she's the only one that is damaged. So there has to be a difference, more or less obvious. I marked also that fuchsia spot on her forehead. She looks like one of those Indian people. That's cute. That's so cute though. After that, I sketched her eyes and give a base layer of fuchsia color. I use also pastel here and there. Her pinkish nose is still one of my favorite aspects regarding her. I figured out that I like half colored leaves rather than full leaves, but I think that this is also a matter of the concept. When I couldn't build layers with my color pencils anymore, I used ink. White for her sclera and fuchsia for her eyes. Initially I wanted to paint her sclera black, but the white color won my Instagram poll, and even so I don't think that black would work well alongside with her peacock feathers. It's interesting to use inks while painting her eyes. They're just another layer of color on top of what you've built so far because they're pretty transparent. And in the very end I managed somehow to make one of her eyes more fuchsia than the other. I didn't plan that, but I kept the idea that she has different shades of colors. Next, I painted Kiyomi's bracelet with white, and when it was dried I painted accents with fuchsia and blue. It's pretty funny because in the very end it turned out to have 4 different human expressions on each side of every oval. The last but not the least is time for her dress up. For her antennas, I decided to use the crystals from this necklace. First of all, I thought that they would be bigger enough to make myself a hair clip, but it seemed that it fits Duusu better. And alongside with this metallic wire blue, they make the perfect combination. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and for your patience. My videos are getting longer and longer, even though I try to keep the most important parts of it. This was the very first video of my Kwami squad. There are even more to come. You can subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for more content. Bye!